Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Leanne. I'm a yoga and Pilates teacher, online coach and personal trainer. Today's live 45-minute Pilates class is going to be centered around spinal strength, flexibility. We're going to bring in some relaxation, some ab work, and hope you enjoy it. Please leave in the comments how you felt this class went for you, and let's get started on the mat. In the box position, cat-cow. Let's check in with our spine this morning, see how it's feeling. Inhaling the cow, exhaling the cat. If you're enjoying one more than the other, spend a little bit more time in that position if it feels good. Good, and move our hips side to side, looking at either hip as you move side to side, opening a stretch on the sides of the hip and stomach area. Like you're wagging a tail, slowly and controlled. And I push a little bit further over as you begin to mobilize. Enjoy that stretch. Exhale as you move into the stretch. Another 4. Cores engaged. Leaning into it. One more. Good. Toes come together to kiss. Knees nice and wide into child's pose. I'm going to circle off the wrists as we mobilize. Deep breath in. And we're going to come onto all fours again. Nice strengthening, safe exercise. The bird dog. So make sure your knees and your palms of your hands are directly under your hips and shoulders. I'm going to bring the arm and opposite leg out in front. Make sure it is in front. Have a look behind. Is your back leg as high as you think it is? Hip height. Rib cage in, belly button into spine. I'm going to hold and then bring in 10 pulses. 1, 2. Shoulders down away from ears. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Over to the other side. And out and hold for balance and stability. Core engaged. Can you feel the full core engaged? Deep breaths. Feeling the warmth above the hip and the back of the shoulder. And begin 10 pulses. Have a look back. You're coming up as high as you can. Squeezing the bum cheek. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then from here, I'm going to come into puppy pose. So hips stay exactly where they are. And your arms are coming over your head. Biceps next to ears. Deep breath. And allow that curve in your lower back. Try and sink into it. You might feel a deep stretch in your shoulder if you've got tight shoulders at the front. One more big deep breath in. Excellent. I'm going to do another round of bird dog. Oops. Stay at 10 reps each, 10 seconds, 10 reps, pulses, or you can up it to 15 if you want to be progressive and build more strength. So deep breaths. Engage that core, squeeze that bum cheek. Is it as high as you think it is? Feel the warmth. 5, 4, and pulse 15 if you can too. Moving that shoulder blade towards the spine. 8. Harder than they look, these. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Over to the other side, core engaged as you lift. Have a look back. So leg is high, squeeze that bum cheek. Breathe. Another 10. 6. 4. Good. Bring in the pulses. 15 if you can. Enjoying that warmth. Know it's doing good. 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Come into puppy pose. See if you can get a little bit deeper with it this time. Two more big deep breaths. Excellent. Feel free to grab a drink. So change the exercises up. So if not done these for a bit, Pilates flares I call them. Really good for, these are brilliant. For spinal twisting, flexibility, movement of the spine, strength and stabilising the pelvis, balance, coordination. So we're in the box position. We've done these before. Coming up and over the opposite, trying to touch your foot and back down into a crunch. So you're forcing that cat-cow. Take your time until you get used to the weight distribution. We're looking for 10. It's a big stretch. You're opening the chest as well, which is good for round shoulders. Make sure you incorporate in the shoulder blade at the back. You're moving it. Good. Another 4. 2 more. Then you've got the option to release or hold. 1 more. And hold. Pushing the foot away from the hand, opening up the stretch. Chest proud. And release. Well done. Over to the other side. Again, take your time until you get used to it. Good stretch for the hip flexor. Four. Coming back round as far as you can. Harder than a thread the needle. Another 4. 2. 1 more. And then you've got the option to hold on the other leg. How does this side feel? Can you look at your back foot? Deep breaths, cores engaged. And release. Well done. Making your way over to a Sphinx position. So I'm going to pause in Sphinx. Just notice whilst you're a little bit warm because of the bird dog and things. Notice where you feel this, how it feels. It's in the base of your back. Any muscles tensed at the moment? Deep breaths as you push your hips into the ground. Good. More spinal flexibility next. So dorsal raises, squeezing, it's all in the shoulder blades. Squeezing the bum cheeks and the shoulder blades, squeezing that P in the middle. Exhale, coming down. Getting full range of movement. Pause at the top for a squeeze. Another 10. Then you've got the option to hold or you can release. Another 6. You're trying to come up as high as you can. 2 more. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Into Sphinx. Deep breaths. You can squeeze your bum cheeks to protect your lower back if you need that extra help. Trying to go a little bit deeper. 1 more deep breath in. And then we're coming into child's pose, knees together. To bend the other way, counter pose. Excellent. Water break if you need one. I'm going to do another round of all them exercises once more. Then we'll move on to abs. So if last time you managed the 10 Pilates flares, you can stay at 10 or you can drop the reps if you do find them hard, or you can up it with me to 12 reps each side. So whichever way you want to start first. Cores engaged to keep stable. 4. 6. Making every rep count. Another 4. And you've got the option to hold. Deep breaths. 2. These are hard. Using the hamstring as well. And hold. 2 deep breaths. Try and look at your back foot. Good, and release. Shaky, shaky. Last time over to the other side now. Another 4. And hold. 2 deep breaths, cores engaged. Can you look at this foot on this side? Is it more of a challenge? Excellent, well done. Making your way into the Sphinx position. Settle in. Recover. Squeezing the bum cheeks to push the hips into the floor. Chest proud. So you can do them dorsal raises again, or if you want to make it a bit harder and add more weight to the upper back for strengthening, which is going to help with posture. It's too long. You can extend the levers, so arms out by your side. Squeezing the P. As many reps as you can, or 20. Pause at the top for a shoulder blade squeeze together. All the way down. Another 3. Then you've got the option to hold. 1 more. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Well done. Back into Sphinx. Chest proud. Squeezing the bum cheeks, pushing your hips into the floor. Feeling the stretch on the abs as well. And then we're coming down, hips up first. Push back into child's pose. And feel that tension in your back. Release. 3 big deep breaths. And then to finish the back work off, we're just going to go into a cat-cow. I want you to compare to how it felt from the start. Spending more time in a cat or a cow, whichever one you prefer. See if there's any subtle changes. side, moving the hips side to side, and looking at the hip and leaning in either side, increasing the stretch. Exhale as you lean into that stretch. Good. Enjoy it. And get really tight in these areas. We don't do much. It's always forwards and backwards movements with the spine, so the left and right are really important. And then we're going to go into thread the needle stretch. Arm extends overhead. Making sure your chest isn't collapsing into the floor, it's pointing out to the side. If you want to progress it further, push your arm into the ground and the other arm can be tucked in your back pocket. Lift that chest up. Lift the shoulders back. Deep breaths. Allow yourself to feel that stretch in the spine and the twist. Good. One more big deep breath in. And then carefully taking your time over to the other side. Settle in. And then you can tuck that hand in your back pocket. One more big deep breath in. Good. Making your way over to a semi-supine position. Moving on to core work. I'm going to start nice and gentle with pelvic tilts. So right now, hopefully you've got a gentle curve in your lower back, your neutral spine and how that feels. I'm going to embrace the core, so ribcage tucked in, belly button pushes into spine. I'm going to flatten that curve in the back. So we're pushing our belly into the floor, imprinting in the spine. Then, whilst keeping the core engaged, we're going to open up that lower back curve. Have a poke around. If there's a tension in the core, might not be a lot, might be a little bit. Point is that core is engaged. Then flatten and open up. Flatten, all whilst keeping the core engaged. What you're doing is you're trying to get used to how it feels and strengthen the lower core that's protecting your lower back in everyday movements. So when your pelvis is normally moving like this as you're walking, bending over, going upstairs, you should be able to brace the core and feel that it's braced. So you can place your fingers on your lower core below the navel, just to make sure that you keep in tension, and eventually you should start to feel a deep ache, deep in the core. Keep going, that's how you know it's working. So you can go, we don't want to go too fast. Pay attention on where it's aching or burning. Another 5, 4, 3. This is a nice gentle one if you're feeling any back niggles in the morning or late at night. And then from here, I'm going to draw big circles with the pelvis. Always one part of your pelvis is on the floor as you're working through clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. You're getting into mobilizing the hip area, but you keep the core engaged throughout the whole movement. It's a bit like a disco cat with the pelvis. Change direction. Keep your fingers on if you're not sure that you're keeping them braced, the core. They're so subtle, these little switch-offs of the fibres of the core. Another 5. Do you feel that deep ache below the belly button? That's what we're looking for. Deep breaths. Again, subtle yet really effective. Well done. let's work on that lower core again. Arms next to your side, legs up as straight as you can. I'm going to rock and bring your hips off the floor for 20 kick-ups. We're leading with the pelvis, your legs aren't extending, they're just keeping straight. It's all in the pelvis, pushing them up. And again, take note on where it starts to burn, it should be that lower core. Good. Coming down nice and controlled, one vertebrae at a time. 5, 4, deep breaths, 3, 2, 1. And from here, legs stay extended, coming out and in. Keeping that back flat against the mat, so no curves, you're fully imprinted, your core's engaged. For as many as you can, or 15. Keep pushing that back into the floor with your core. 10, 9. Getting right in there in the hips. 5, 4, deep breaths, 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done. Deep breath in, arms rise. Pause with full lungs before slowly exhaling for a count of 4 for relaxation. If you want to bring in pelvic floor work, inhale as the arms rise, push the belly out and relax on the pelvic floor like you're passing wind and urine on the toilet. Then on the exhale, you're bracing the core, holding in your pelvic floor like you're stopping your urine mid-floor. Make sure you can differentiate between the two. Inhale, relax the pelvic floor, pushing the belly out. Exhale, bracing the core, holding in like you don't want to pass wind or urine. One more. This is what your pelvic floor naturally does anyway, and us practicing this with an over-exaggerated approach strengthens these muscles. Good. We're going to single leg stretch next. So one bent knee. If you've got trouble with your neck or if it's feeling fatigued, you can keep it on the mat and just swap over and work the lower core. Otherwise, knee to nose, coming all the way up, all the way down. So make sure your shoulders are coming back on the mat as you're swapping over, looking for 20. It's a nice glute stretch as well and hitting that lower back a little bit. Ten. Squeezing the core as hard as you can. 14. That's 5, 4, 3. 2 more. Can either rest or you can go straight into scissors. Same again. Pulling in, it's like a bicep curl. Pulling in the leg for a hamstring stretch. 10, 9. Exhale, coming up. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Good. 3 deep breaths. Inhale, arms rise. Slow exhale, count of 4. The slower the exhale, the more relaxation it'll bring. First switch to turn off the stress systems is your slow exhale. Full breath. One more. Next, arms next to your side, rib cage in, belly button to spine, pushing the hips on the floor. I'm going to bring little leg raise pulses. You're only going down as far as what you can keep your back protected and against the floor. Looking for another 10, 9, 6, 3. You feel this at the top of your thighs as well to strengthen them. One more. Good. Bending both knees, arms out to your side for window wiper pulses. We're just lifting the hip off the floor a little bit. Adding a bit of weight to that lower core. Looking for 20. Take your time through these and enjoy the stretch around your hip area. You might feel it in your glute or your back as well. Concentrate and find where's burning, because that's how you know it's working. You're targeting the areas you want. Should be your lower core again. 10, 9, like a grandfather clock. 5, 3, 2, 1, and release. Deep breath in, arms rise. One more. Excellent. Starting with both legs in tabletop, hands behind your head supporting your neck. One leg extends. As you come up and crunch, your other leg comes straight down and returns back to where the other one is. Exhale on the crunch, inhale on the return. Looking for 10. Pushing that back against the floor. 6, 7, let it burn. Try and ignore it. Another 2, that's good. One more. Back to tabletop. I'm going to swap over the other leg. This is tough. If it's burning too much, stop, wait for the burning to subside, and then do a few more. So you build the endurance. Just don't give up completely. 5, 4, 2, one more. Well done. Breathe. Deep breath in. A slow exhale. Last core exercise next. Nice and simple. To failure, as many as you can. Legs up in tabletop, hands support head. Coming up, hips off the floor. Pause for a 2-second squeeze and then release. Squeeze, release. I'm going for 20. 7. Another 10 if you can. This is your last exercise, and we're beginning the stretching off and tension release. 8, 7, 4, 2, one more. Well done. Whew, that's tough. A lot of volume there in a short space of time. Inhale, arms rise. Well done. You should be proud of yourself for attending today. It's very easy not to come to these things. But you're giving back to your body. One more. Let's stretch out the lower spine. Hips are going to shift over to the right, knees over to the left. You can take your block, it's all about you relaxing. So if you find that too intense, you can place your block underneath your knees or between your knees. But arms out to the side. And settle in. Every exhale, do an internal body scan and find out where's tensed up. It's usually around the legs, the thighs, the hamstrings, the glutes. And just simply switch off these muscles and just relax them with your exhale. You'll find it easier. Deep breath in, belly comes out, and a slow exhale. Switch off these areas. If you're ready to intensify the stretch, you can extend that top leg and hold on to the back of it. But shoulder blades should be down on the mat first. This is identifying your tight areas. If you feel anything spasming or a bit too tight for your liking, you can bend both knees again and just use the block. Every exhale sinking further into the mat. Two more big deep breaths. Good. Bending both knees. I want you to return to semi-supine and just wait a moment, reset. Notice how your body feels now. Hopefully a lot more stretched on one side of your body, your back. And as that tension melts away, we're going to shift our hips over to the left, knees over to the right, and settle in. If you're able to extend that top leg, feel free. You're trying to get both shoulder blades on the mat and that foot over to the other side of the floor. Use your exhale. Start the internal body scan. What muscles aren't relaxed? Just switch them off with an exhale. Relaxing your nervous system. Resetting everything. Bringing you to a new base. Two more big deep breaths. Good. Bending both knees, coming into a seated position. So once you're upright, I'm going to start. So have your block handy. This is quite intense. I've been calling it like a pigeon on steroids. I'm not sure if we've done this in this class actually. The shoelace. Okay, so we're stretching out the sides of the pelvis. It's quite intense, hence the block. But to get into it, we need the block just next to us. So we're in the hero position. Your left leg is going to come over by your right knee. Is the first. So you can take your time. And then you want to untuck this bottom and try and sit on the floor. But if that's too intense, sit on the block. And then that's when we shimmy our knees over one of there. We're trying to make, we have done this because I remember looking at Katie's knees. So you're trying to push your knees over and then you intensify this stretch. And then if you, I'm not even sat on the block either. So deep breaths in, and you can crawl your hands forward, pushing your hips back in space. You can intensify the stretch. You can also remove the block as well if you want a deeper stretch. So both feet out to the side. So this is called the shoelace. For stretching out the sides of the pelvis and the glute area. Excellent. quite intense. If you find it really intense moving forward, feel free to just sit upright, as long as you still feel it. 2 more deep breaths in. We've not isolated any of these muscles today, so if it feels more intense than last week, that's why. Good. The next inhale, we're going to untuck, remove the block. Let's see how we feel on the other side. So now the right leg comes over in the hero. Untuck that bottom leg, get your block if you need it, and then we shimmy that knee over. Bring the feet out to the side, just take your time. Sitting tall, bending at the hips, belly to thigh. Good. Try and sit with that discomfort. If you find this intense, it's because you're so tight in these areas. Breathe, use your exhale to relax the muscles and the nervous system. One more big deep breath in. Excellent. Untucking. Next we're going to work on posture. So this helps with rounding shoulders, neck hump, that kind of posture. So what we're trying to do with the horizontal block is place it around bra height, shoulder blade height. You might need to have a shimmy with it. You might feel more like it's more suited for you higher up or lower down. But we're going to bring ourselves slowly lowering onto the block. Head to floor, pelvis to floor, head faced forward. Have a play around with the block. If you can't get your head faced forward, just move it down a little bit. Opens the chest, arms out to the side, and we're trying to relax. Now you're likely going to feel this intense stretch just below the block, but we're counteracting the back bend there. So deep breaths. I'm trying to relax, exhale. Trying to switch off them back muscles. Now, in one more deep breath, we're going to push our arms and head and pelvis into the ground, switching our back muscles on. I'm going to hold that for 5 seconds. So take a deep breath in and push against the floor. Exhale, deep breaths again. 3, 2, 1, and release. Relax. I'm going to do that again in 3, 2, 1. Push against the floor. Squeezing the back muscles, the shoulder blades together. 2, 1, and release. You can really feel those muscles needed for good posture. Switching on. I'm going to do that once more. 3, 2, 1. Push against the floor, squeezing the muscles around the shoulder blade. 3, 2, 1. Shaky, shaky, release. I'm going to roll carefully onto our sides, off the block, and coming up into a seated position. I'm going to practice some pranayama, relaxation, breathwork to help you sleep tonight, better quality of sleep. So sitting on the block or however feels comfortable for you, stacking your vertebrae on top of one another, taking a moment with yourself, your body. I'm going to practice box breathing. So there's 3 stages of yogic breath. On the inhale, your belly will rise, then your ribs, and then your chest in those 3 stages. Then on the exhale, your chest will fall, then your ribs, and then your belly empties. I want you to fill the lungs full of air. And we're going to breathe in for 4, pause with full lungs for 4, exhale for 4, and then pause for 4 before inhaling again. And sitting tall like this, you might still feel the effects of the block work. I certainly do. I feel more stretched, but it feels, when you're doing this kind of work on your spine, it feels a bit different than a normal stretch on the muscles because they're so intricate. So just take note on how that feels, that stretch in the thoracic midsection of your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Deep breath in, sending the oxygen all the way down to the belly for your own count of 4. What are you grateful for this week? Have you been kind to yourself this week? Have you shown yourself compassion if it's been needed? Have you been kind to somebody else this week? Could you be? Every time your mind wanders on your to-do list or anything that's been bugging you, just bring it back to the breath, the anchor of the mind. It keeps you present in the moment. It's the one thing you can control in this moment. Meditation is a practice. You'll get many thoughts in your mind, but you only shine a spotlight onto it when you concentrate on it. Just let them come to you freely and leave. My inner divine light bows down to your inner divine light. Namaste. Thank you for coming.